Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We're continuing our focus on the state of the nation. We're joined now by Chief Olisa Metuh, who is the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP. He joins us from our studios in Abuja. Morning, and thank you for joining us today. Well, I know you have also heard Olisa Mohammed talking about what they met on ground, how it was just tough to function the way they would have loved to function because funds, corruption, and some of those cases not exactly too clear, especially the handover notes coming rather late in the day. What's your impression of what's going on at the moment?
Thank you. Good morning. Well, I did listen to Lai Mohammed struggling to in his position right now. It's difficult to be spokesperson for power, but I appreciate what he's going through. The fact is, in 1999, the PDP came into power. Our president inherited a lot of, I won't say liabilities from the military. We did not dramatize it. We did not engage in propaganda. We did not make so much noise about where we met on ground. The then President Obasanjo embarked on reforms and then backed on stating, having a policy trust. We unveiled our programs and policies. That's what I expected APC to do. Now, I must say something here. It is very important to state that we accept that 5 weeks, 6 weeks is such a short time to judge a government in power. We agree. But then if the government brings out itself and dramatizes imaginary achievements and engages in propaganda, the spokesperson of the presidency, the party's people, and they bring out themselves, they bring forth themselves as having achieved a lot, it is then in our position to state the real facts. What
drama are we talking about here?
We're stating the fact that this government has stated that in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, they've achieved more than our government, the former president, in 4 or 5 years in power. Like Uncle Lai Mohammed did say that. And although I'm not coming from a background of having refused to acknowledge the president as a leader of this party, so he needed to reassure him of loyalty and support, or that he's actually impressed by what he was doing. But that was way below. That really lacked class. Stating in 3 or 4 weeks they achieved the entire system. But besides that, I have seen his explanation on insurgency. It is actually very laughable. I mean, multi-task force they just established. But what I'm worried about when it comes to insurgency is the use of the term sub-targets when they're trying to explain the deaths of people. In the last few weeks, we've witnessed hundreds of people being killed, and they're Nigerians and they're human beings. And whenever they're explaining this, they say Boko Haram is about, this is the last phase of Boko Haram, they're just engaging in soft targets. What is soft about the killings of human beings? I mean, it is important that they understand that these are not objects, they are human lives that we're talking about. Now, he did explain his situation on ministry, and the impression that I got was that they were very comfortable and they believe that government can work without ministers. That is important. That having ministers is not really important. You know, is the economy moving forward? He said yes, that the economy. So I ask, is this the best? Is this what we are going to have? Is this what they promised us? Is this the best of APC? Is this the best of this government that we ever see? So they should be careful when they put out certain things for people to do. Finally, on the LNG, my comment on it is that if you believe that there is corruption, please stop the propaganda, stop the noise, investigate and prosecute. You should not be disturbing Nigerians with all kinds of accusations as if you're still an opposition party spokesperson. You are now in power. Everything belongs to you. You have the instruments of power, of government. So if you believe there is corruption, please investigate it and prosecute accordingly whoever is involved. We do not want corruption. We are totally against corruption. So let it not be that this government will still engage in activities as if they are the opposition party. They now have the instruments of governance. Let them handle it the way they want to do.
All right, let me pick some of the points that you raised now about security. Well, he's talked about their strategy, what they've done so far. He says for the first time there's been that leadership, they provided the direction, and he says it is working. What part of that do you disagree with?
Well, for us as a party, we've taken a position on security. Our position is that we have a president who has the mandate of Nigerians, and is not only in office, is in power. For us, as major stakeholders in this country as well, we want to support him. We will not criticize whatever measure or effort that he engages in fighting terrorism or providing security for us. Because we as a people must come together behind any government in power to support the fight against insurgency. And whatever method, whatever views, whatever ways and means that our president, who we are happy, have been a general before, so he should be well vexed in these matters. And we believe and we trust and we pray that totally that we will see improvement in the war against insurgency.
Does that mean that
it's not a matter for politics?
Does that mean that even if
engage in discussing with them,
because
the method that our president is.
Oh dear, well, we lost him there, but we will get back, we'll make that connection again and get some other matters clear. I was just going to wonder, look, we've been there 16 years, but the later part of it when the insurgency came up, and so I was wondering, he says they will not criticize the president, he's well versed in that area, so I thought, wait a minute, even if it's constructive criticism, so if you've got suggestions where you think, look, I think if you try this, this is the information I had, this may help you, wouldn't that happen? But
that's on the one hand, and there's also the part of, okay, you say that this insurgency is, well, I say we shove aside or we push aside the explanation of the APC, and then on the other hand say, well, we will still not criticize, we will support it. Sometimes the line is kind of blurry in terms of what is criticism.
It's just so that let's not distract. Yes, they've said this is what they're going to do. Well, we'll sit back. As he said, it's just a few weeks, so let's give them time. Maybe that's what he's saying. But where he started out saying that they're lamenting, I was going to ask him, come on, you've been there, I mean, 16 years. Your party's been there 16 years. I've been accused of practically running the country aground. I believe he's back now.
I think, yeah, we'll have Chief Olisa Metuh back. So we're just talking about, you say you will not criticize this government in terms of security. He's well-versed, being a general, but you've been there lately. You have some experience as a political party. Does that mean that if you see something's going wrong, you won't point it out?
No, I hadn't quite finished my explanation because it's important for me to lay the ground rules. We want to establish, we want to inform Nigerians that, in fact, we respect the president. We respect his person and the office that he occupies. But what we'll engage in is providing alternatives and options to his policies and programs. Now, on the issue of security, what are the programs that this government has unveiled? We have not seen any new innovation or any new program for us to start debating on alternatives or options. Exactly what the president, our president had done while engaging in the fight against insurgency is basically what this president is doing, supporting multinational task force, although APC is doing as if it's just being created. And what else is new? For about 5 weeks, he retained the same set of service chiefs, the same people, only to change them which is his own right, and they're hailing it as if it's an achievement. They should note that successive governments had done that within 24 hours or 48 hours of being in power. So basically,
did you say 48 or 24 hours?
That we have to criticize. Absolutely nothing they've done.
No, but did President Jonathan appoint ministers between 48 hours of being president?
President Jonathan nominated his ministers within 29 days of being in power. It was done 28th day of June, 2011.
I thought you said 24 hours.
And told us he was nominated, and he went through screening. But what Lai Mohammed has told us now is the day they approved, they went through Senate screening and they were sworn in. That is different. But the day that they were nominated was 28th day of June, and that was 29 days or 30 days of being in power.
Is your party aware of, talking about this ministerial list, is your party aware of a screening of potential ministers, as it were?
No, it is not in our place.
The reason I ask this is
when
because
they bring out their ministers, it will be in our place to evaluate, to discuss one particular aspect that this government has engaged, I'll say again, in dramatizing. Apart from dramatizing imaginary achievements, there has been so much noise made about corruption. There has been so much noise made about corruption as if every single Nigerian is corrupt.
There are two issues I'd like to take up with you on that.
Let me come here, please. When they nominate these ministers, we will look at them. Nigerians will see their track record, and we will really see how important this fight against corruption is to the APC. Because there are two ways, they have different rules for rules of engagement. In discussing the issue of payment of salary, you will now decry it while you have a governor that does not pay salary for more than 9 months in Osun State, and you don't talk to him. Now, when it comes to ministers or government that has been in power, your state governors and other people, you don't even mention the issue of corruption. When it comes to PDP officials, you change the rules to be they are guilty except if they come to prove themselves innocent. You actually rewrite the constitution.
Well, why have these rules been implemented? Under what circumstances? Can you give us examples?
Of what?
Of the instances that you're talking about. Instances where the rules have been rewritten.
About people, about PDP being corrupt, that we didn't leave anything for the government, and the corruption here and there, and truly is actually disturbing.